I am reviewing the off-Broadway musical Exorcistic The Unauthorized rock musical parody with book, music, and lyrics by Michael Shaw Fisher, directed by Alli Miller and Chad McMillan, and choreographed by Camal Pugh, running through October 4th at Asylum NYC at 123 East 24th Street in New York City. Get possessed with my Patreon page, where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support my work here, as well as my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee. Patrons get early access to the latest episodes, which is currently Edward Young's Yee Yee, as well as additional perks like early access to interviews. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, and welcome to the new ones. Links will be in the description. Parodies tend to be a very hit-or-miss genre. Con, the musical, a parody tractacular, far surpassed anything I could ever imagine a parody can be on stage, while Bear Grease was pretty disappointing. Exorcistic, the unauthorized rock musical parody, falls somewhere in between. Inspired by the 1973 William Friedkin film and the 1971 book by William Peter Blatty, The Exorcist, Exorcistic hits most of the major plot points. Megan, the names of the characters in the film have been changed for the stage show as all part of the humor. And anyway, you'll get the point as I intentionally misname some of the characters you may be familiar with in the film and the book. It's all on purpose. Anyway, Megan, played by Emma Hunton, is a young girl who gets possessed by the demon Pazuzu. Her mother, Kate, played by Lee Wolf, after a series of failed medical exams, calls upon Father Garras, played by Ethan Crystal, to conduct an exorcism. He calls upon the help of Father Baron, played by Jesse Merlin, who has had prior experience with exorcisms and Pazuzu as well. This isn't the first Exorcist parody. Some of you may remember the 1990 film Repossessed, starring Leslie Nielsen, Ned Beatty, and Linda Blair. Exorcistic is arguably better. I think it's better in some points, at least anyway. It's a reasonably entertaining show with some genuinely silly moments and outrageous rock songs like the Jesuit Blues, Howdy Captain Rowdy, the longest martyrdom song ever written, and several others that I will not quote here for the sake of attempting to keep this channel as family-friendly as possible. Granted, if you're coming to see Exorcistic, you're not coming to a family show. It is a brazenly crude show in its humor, but frankly, the humor wouldn't work if it wasn't. If you're going to do a parody of a film and book as graphic as The Exorcist, the absurdity of the humor must at least match the terror and the gross out of the source material. For the most part, with properly vulgar songs like the song about Father Garras' mom and what she does in hell that turns into a sing-along with the audience, Michael Shaw Fisher's show does a pretty good job. The show plays directly to the audience, running up and down the aisle, getting involved with them along the way. Particularly the night I was in attendance, they were poking fun at a man who fell asleep, which I thought was great. It's a very engaging show, and with a parody show like this, you gotta have that, and they really do capture that element. An Exorcistic works best when it sticks to parodying the source material. It starts to fall in on itself when it becomes a little too metatextual in its humor. The concept on this end of the musical has the cast discussing The Exorcist, its dated elements, story structure, and religious themes. Initially unbeknownst to them, Emma Hunton, the actress who plays Megan, playing herself in these moments, is herself actually possessed, which causes havoc for the production. It's all part of the plot. That, plus an unnecessary romantic subplot by a couple of the cast members, causes the story to overextend itself. I think the meta-humor could have been played more effectively if it stayed within the context of the plot of The Exorcist, not jumping out of it with breaks in the scenes. It would streamline the storytelling more while still taking the opportunity to make quicker, sharp observations in the moment. There are some electric performances, particularly Emma Hunton, who gets to belt out some fantastic vocals. Then, when her possession gets in the way of her understudy, Hannah Bonnet, comes in early in the second act, and she starts to show off her own vocals. The whole ensemble commits to the exaggeration of the show, throwing themselves into the roles, particularly Ethan Crystal as Father Garras, as the play reaches its conclusion in the climactic The Longest Martyrdom Song Ever Written. There's not much to the set, just a few props and equipment, but director McMillan, who is the production designer, and lighting designer Will Elphingstone do use projections to add some visual depth to the show. There were some issues with the sound design. As electric as the music can be, many of the lyrics were lost because of the sound issues. Exorcistic The Unauthorized rock musical parody is a decent parody. When it sticks to the story of The Exorcist, it is quite enjoyable with an energetic cast, but when it veers off on its more meta elements, it feels overextended and needs to be reined in a bit. But I'm only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below if you'd like to see Exorcistic The Unauthorized rock musical parody. I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be links to my Patreon and podcast pages, as well as my social media handles where you can follow and support my work. You can also support me by liking and sharing this review, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Sharon Playhouse's production of Sylvia. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.